On November 16th, 1907, the territory of Oklahoma was admitted into the Union and became the 46th state of the United States of America. Boomer! Sooner. But as our dealership is located in Houston, Texas, we are contractually obligated to talk some crap about Oklahoma, so let me just get that out of the way. It's 4 in the afternoon and OU still sucks. All jokes and territorial rivalries aside, when 1957 rolled around, the state of Oklahoma was looking to celebrate its 50th anniversary of statehood. The city of Tulsa, Oklahoma, besides being the origin city of the band Hanson, was looking to celebrate the 50th anniversary in a very special way, with an event called the Tulsa-rama Golden Jubilee Week. Part of this celebration, they had decided to bury a time capsule for when Oklahoma reached its 100th anniversary of being a state, which would have been 2007. But instead of just buying some bits and bobs from the time period and burying it in the ground, they decided to go a little bit above and beyond the typical time capsule stereotype. What would better represent the time than burying a vehicle from that year to be dug up in 5 decades? The vehicle decided upon was a desert gold and dune white two-tone sports coupe 1957 Plymouth Belvedere. So Tulsa decided to take this iconic vehicle and bury it in a concrete vault filled with other items that were contemporary at the time. But this would not be just a fun thing to dig up in 2007, because as Americans, we need to always have a sense of competition. Whoever would guess the population of Tulsa in 2007 would actually win the car and a savings account that would be registered in the year 1957. $100 was deposited in 1957, and whatever would accumulate over those 50 years, the winner would win that sum in addition to the car itself. Guesses would be listed on postcards along with the guesser's information and would be buried in the vault with the vehicle. The press started circulating the story and it spread widely. Postcard guesses would come in from all over the country and some from all over the world. And the name that they gave to this iconic vehicle that would be buried would be Miss Belvedere. A bunch of other items contemporary to the time would be buried within Miss Belvedere inside the concrete vault, trying to give an idea of what Tulsa, Oklahoma was in 1957. Some of these items included a 5-gallon container of contemporary gasoline and some motor oil, just in case vehicles no longer ran on that in 2007. Sorry to spoil your fun, guys, we're still there. And because it's Tulsa, a case of Schlitz beer, come on, it's contemporary. And most absurdly to me, what was considered to be average contents of a women's purse. This included 14 bobby pins, 2 combs, lipstick, gum, a plastic rain hat, tissues, $2.73 and change, cigarettes and matches, and weirdest of all in my opinion, an unpaid parking ticket and a bottle of tranquilizers. The vault also contained a 48-star American flag, a slight lift for Miss Belvedere so the pneumatic tires didn't rest on the ground, and thorough protections for Miss Belvedere to make sure that no damage was done to the vehicle as it was stored underground. This included gunite on the inside of the concrete, plastic sheeting on the vehicle, and an anti-corrosive waxy substance to cover the vehicle to protect from any potential water damage. The event finally came, and after Miss Belvedere was lowered into the vault many times simply for publicity photographs, she was finally laid to rest within, and the vault was covered with concrete beams. The beams were covered by 3 feet of earth, and on top of the earth was a marker to mark the spot of Miss Belvedere's burial. This bronze marker read, quote, Golden Jubilee and Company Time Capsule with 1957 Plymouth, sealed June 15th, 1957, to be opened in 2007 by Centennial Committee, end quote. And there she was, sealed in her concrete vault for 50 years, only to be unearthed in 2007. And since I'm shooting this video in 2005, we only have 2 years to wait. No, I'm just kidding. And 2007 rolled around. The Centennial Committee got together and they got ready to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Oklahoma's statehood. But people had been worrying for quite some time about the condition of Miss Belvedere after all this time, specifically about the potential for water to seep into the concrete vault. On top of this, in 1973, there was a nearby construction accident that involved a water main breaking and the whole area being flooded. And even with the concrete, gunite, anti-corrosive layer, and plastic sheeting, 50 years is a long time for any vehicle. As the event came closer and closer, the publicity picked up more and more. What condition was Miss Belvedere in? Who would win? Many people didn't remember all the items that were buried within the vehicle and were hoping that there was something worth a lot of money in there. Who knows? The can of Schlitz? That might be worth a lot these days. News crews and notable individuals from all over the country began showing up to celebrate this event and hopefully to experience the unearthing. The Centennial Committee secured a sponsorship with Boyd Coddington, custom hot rod designer, to use AmSoil parts to try to get the car running again. Volunteers practiced lifting an identical model 1957 Plymouth with a volunteered local crane service to make sure that they could get Miss Belvedere out of the vault without damaging her. Because let's be honest, that would have been super awkward if she was in mint condition and they dropped her. So June 14th, 2007, the unearthing would begin. Would it be pristine? Would it be completely destroyed? Who would win the competition? The ground was broken, the concrete beams began being removed, and as volunteers, the press, the publicists, the Centennial Committee, and the residents of Tulsa, Oklahoma peered into the vault, they witnessed 4 feet of standing water. And on top of that, there was evidence that the vault had been completely submerged in water at some point. 2,000 gallons of water had seeped into the vault due to it not being hermetically sealed. As in, it wasn't airtight. Let's just say the excitement of the day would be greatly dampened due to the necessity of a hazmat team to show up and make sure that Miss Belvedere wasn't poisonous to the public for some reason. After thorough testing, the hazmat team just discovered that there were hydrocarbons in the water simply from the oil and the gallons of gasoline buried with Miss Belvedere. So the next step was to determine the car's condition, if the anti-corrosive and the plastic sheeting were able to partially shield the car at least. Boyd Coddington and his team took a look at Miss Belvedere to see if they could start her up. After she was lifted out of the vault, it was discovered that this was absolutely not possible. Almost everything not completely sealed was either completely destroyed or heavily corroded, all the way up to the keys sitting inside the ignition of the vehicle. They were corroded in there. That being said, the sealed canister containing the population guesses, the savings account information, and a few of the other random items remained undamaged on the inside. So instead of seeing Miss Belvedere start up and drive off, the public had to be satisfied with her tires being able to be inflated after all this time. So, who won the competition? Of the 812 guesses, the winner was Raymond Humberton, who had guessed 384,743 people, which was really darn close to the actual reported population of Tulsa in 2007 at 382,457 people. The deteriorated car and savings account, now ominously valued at $666.85, would be awarded to him. Problem was, he had been dead since 1979, his wife since 1988, and they didn't have any children. So they hunted down his next of kin, and his surviving sisters and nephews would be the ones to split the reward. It's said that they were very surprised, as Raymond never lived close to Tulsa, and they never knew that he participated in such an event. As a result, Humberton's family would ship the car to Ultra One, which is a car restoration company. The goal was not a complete restoration. It was much more to remove any rust and of that anti-corrosive waxy substance while maintaining as much of the underlying paint as possible. This restoration would take 2 years to complete and would be done in 2009, but then Miss Belvedere would simply sit in Ultra One's garages for around a decade. The city of Tulsa and the Smithsonian Museum both denied offers to display the vehicle. In 2015, there finally came to an agreement on where to display this historic vehicle, and it was at Historic Auto Attractions in Roscoe, Illinois. Being shipped to the facility in 2017, Miss Belvedere was finally put on display in July of 2020 at the height of really nobody going to museums, unfortunately. She's still in rough shape, but it's wonderful to see this weird vehicle find its way to a place where it will be conserved and will be able to be appreciated for the weird story that it experienced. So that's the story of Miss Belvedere. I hope you got a kick out of this goofy story. My name is Mitchell. I'm sitting here at Fred Haas Toyota Country, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.